Every morning, before it got hot, the king's son came down to the gate. That was where the city did its business. If you had a dispute with a neighbor, a claim about a field, a debt somebody would not pay, you brought it to the gate and you waited for the king to hear you. Absalom got there first. He had a chariot and horses and 50 men who ran ahead of him. And when a man came through the gate looking for judgment, Absalom would stop him. Where are you from? What is your case? And then he would say the same thing, every time. Your claim is good. Your claim is right. There is no man appointed by the king to hear you. And when the man bowed, Absalom would not let him finish. He would reach out and take him by the hand and kiss him. He did that every morning for 4 years. The book says it plainly. Absalom stole the hearts of the men of Israel. To understand why he was standing at that gate, you have to go back. Absalom had a sister. Her name was Tamar. Their half-brother Amnon wronged her, badly enough that she lived the rest of her life in Absalom's house and never had one of her own. David heard about it. The text says he was very angry. It does not say he did anything. There is no summons, no judgment, no punishment. The king who sat at that gate to hear other people's cases did not hear his own daughters. And Absalom said nothing, not to Amnon, not one word, good or bad, for 2 years. Then he threw a party at sheep shearing time, and he invited every one of the king's sons, and he told his servants exactly when to do it. When Amnon is happy with wine, when I say the word, Amnon died at his brother's table, and Absalom ran. He was gone 3 years. His father's general, a man named Joab, is the one who brought him back. Joab knew the king was grieving, and Joab was practical about grief, so he found a woman from Tekoa and put a story in her mouth and sent her to David with an invented family and an invented dead son. David heard her case at the gate, the way he heard everyone's, and gave his ruling, and only afterward understood that he had just ruled on his own son. Bring the boy home. So Absalom came home, and David would not see him. 2 more years, in the same city, a few streets apart, the king would not look at him. Absalom sent for Joab twice, and twice Joab did not come. So Absalom set Joab's barley field on fire. That worked. He was brought in. He bowed to the ground, and his father kissed him. That is the whole reconciliation. One kiss after 5 years, and the text does not record either of them saying a word. Then Absalom went back to the gate and started taking the hearts. 4 years of it, every morning. Your claim is good, and nobody here is listening to you. And when he had enough of them, he asked his father for permission to go to Hebron and keep a vow. David said, "Go in peace." He sent runners ahead through every tribe, with one instruction. When you hear the trumpet, say Absalom is king in Hebron. The messenger who reached David said 6 words. The hearts of Israel are with Absalom. And David, who had killed a giant on open ground as a boy, who had held that city for a generation, did not fight for it. He walked out. He went up the Mount of Olives barefoot, with his head covered, weeping as he climbed, and everyone with him weeping too. A man named Shimei followed them along the ridge throwing stones and shouting that God was paying David back. David would not let anyone touch him. "Let him curse," he said. "My own son is trying to kill me." There was a man named Ahithophel, and he had been David's advisor, and he had gone over to Absalom. He was very good. The text says his counsel was treated like the word of God by both men, which is the highest thing said about anyone in this story. He told Absalom, "Give me 12,000 men and let me go tonight. He is tired. He is on the road. I will strike him while his hands are weak, and I will bring everyone else back to you." That would have worked. But Absalom asked for a second opinion from a man named Hushai, who was David's friend, and was lying to him. Hushai said, "Wait, Your father is a soldier. He will not sleep with the army tonight. Gather all Israel first, and go yourself at the head of them." Absalom liked that better. And Ahithophel, who knew exactly what that choice meant, went home and set his house in order and hanged himself. David got his men and crossed the river and split them into three and told them he was coming with them. They refused. "You are worth 10,000 of us. Stay in the city." So he stood in the gateway while the whole army marched out past him, and he said one thing to the three commanders, out loud, in front of everybody. "Deal gently, for my sake, with the young man Absalom." And the text stops to tell you that all the people heard it. Every man walking out to that battle knew what the king wanted. The fighting went into the forest, and the forest was worse than the fighting. 20,000 men died there that day, and the text says the wood devoured more of them than the sword. Absalom rode into it on a mule. He went under a great oak, and his head caught in the branches. Not his hair, the book says his head. The mule walked out from under him and kept going, and he was left hanging there, alive, between heaven and earth. A soldier saw him and would not touch him. He said, "Not for 1,000 pieces of silver." The king told us. We all heard him. Joab said, "I am not going to stand here arguing with you." He took 3 javelins and drove them into Absalom's heart while he was still alive in the tree. They threw him into a pit in the forest and piled stones over him. And David was sitting between the 2 gates, waiting. The watchman on the wall called down that he could see a man running. David said, "If he is alone, he is bringing news." Then a second runner, "He is bringing news too." The first one reached him and said, "Everything is well. God has handed over the men who lifted their hand against you." And David asked him one question, "Is it well with the young man Absalom?" The runner said he saw a commotion and did not know what it was. The second runner came and said the same thing the first one had, and David asked him the same question, "Is it well with the young man Absalom?" And that one answered him, "May all the king's enemies be like that young man." David went up to the room over the gate, and the whole city heard him. "Oh, my son Absalom, my son Absalom, would I had died instead of you. Oh, Absalom, my son, my son." The army came home that day like men who had run from something. Joab went up to him and did not soften it. "Today you shamed every man who saved your life, and your sons, and your daughters, and your wives. You love the ones who hate you, and you hate the ones who love you." If Absalom were alive right now and all of us were dead, you would be satisfied. So David got up and went down and sat in the gate. There is one more thing, and the book puts it right after the burial, as if it were a detail. While he was alive, Absalom had built himself a monument in the valley and had it called by his own name. And the reason the text gives is this: "I have no son to keep my name in remembrance." 4 chapters earlier, the same book says he had 3 sons and a daughter. He named her Tamar. The text never explains either one, and it never mentions the sons again.